Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5 is now streaming on Disney Plus. We're going to let you know how it is. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Kiren.
I'm Dom.
Today we're going to do a review of The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5, called The Pirate. Dom, what did you think of this one?
I actually liked it. Started seeing some of the threads come together from the previous episodes, and then Zeb. That made me happy.
Yeah, I'm kind of like on the fence. It was definitely an improvement from the last episode. There was definitely stuff in the episode that they kind of in the last episode they sort of explained more in this one.
Yeah,
that made sense. So it kind of, I guess, tied it together better.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like, there were parts I really liked about this episode, and there were parts where I was like bored.
Yeah.
And it was parts that I shouldn't have been bored at, like, action scenes or whatever. But anyway, guys, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the episode, I recommend watching it right now and checking it out, and then come back and let us know what you think. Yeah, let's start with the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, that was definitely it definitely built up a bit. It was kind of a slower build up, but then once things started getting going, then it's like, okay, start seeing threads come together.
Yeah, I kind of, the intro, okay, we're back on Navarro, and...
Again.
Yeah, again. And what was the guy's name? Grief Karga.
Yeah.
All of a sudden gets a message from, like, Pizza the Hut, which, it's like...
It's kind of a combination of Pizza the Hut and Swamp Thing.
So, yeah, basically, if you've ever seen that there's a movie by Mel Brooks, came out in the 80s, called Spaceballs, and it's basically like a parody of Star Wars, and there's a character called Pizza the Hut, which is basically a Jabba the Hutt, like, kind of rip-off, or like parody. And this character in this episode, this like totally, well, he's in the other episodes too, but he totally reminded me of that, and I was like, couldn't like,
oh yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if it was like meant to be like a callback to that or what, but he was way too silly to take seriously, and him like threatening, okay, we're gonna like destroy your town.
I keep on wanting to call him like Pirate King Shark or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot his name. But yeah, anyway, it was just kind of like that was the thing that I didn't really.
Yeah,
I didn't believe like,
that.
Okay, this tiny pirate ship is like threatening a whole city,
right?
And then like, what are they? I mean, obviously, it's like,
well, when you see the city when they're all gathered around, it's like, wait, there's only this many people?
Yeah, and it's kind of like, so basically, Grief, like, or is it Grief? Yeah,
Grief reaches out to the
Republic, the New Republic, and we encounter that one TIE fighter
pilot.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
No, X-wing pilot. Sorry, right. X-wing. And he's from the last season.
Right.
And so he basically somehow knows where the Mandalorians live because of a droid that the Mandalorians have.
Oh, because he was able to track down R5. Right, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of like weird. Like the Mandalorians are these like advanced, people, and it's like you think they would wipe the droids that they would kind of like,
or they'd at least like be able to pick up on a homing signal or something.
Yeah, something like that. So that was a little like weird, and so basically Grief reached out to this guy to ask for help, and then he's like, maybe I'll get the Mandalorians to help. So he goes to where the Mandalorians are hiding out and basically tells them what's happening with Navarro.
Right.
And then they kind of have like this like kind of like powwow sort of like meeting around a fireplace, and basically
I thought it was funny that they kind of used the armorer's hammer as kind of like a talking stick.
Oh yeah.
You can only talk if you got the stick.
And so they basically like, Din's like, okay, we gotta help this guy because, he helped me in the past, even though they had a bad history with Grief. So anyway, so this is where the last episode kind of comes into play. Right. The rescuing of one of the Mandalorian sons. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you rescued my son, so I want to help you now." And
Right.
he basically convinced all the other guys, all the other Mandalorians, to kind of go along and go to Navarro and try to save the city from the pirates. But then, oh yeah, before that, there's a character that pops up, and I've only seen a few episodes of the Rebels, like animated series, and I recognized him like right off the bat,
Oh, yeah.
like right away. I knew who he was. I didn't know his name right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
At first, I was like, "Oh wow, they have a Lasat there," and then he opens his mouth, "Zeb." That made me happy.
yeah, it was trippy because he looks pretty much like he does in the animated series, but he's more like
More textured.
yeah, more textured, and it's like obviously real world kind of realistic kind of thing. But
It looks like they did that kind of like. I haven't seen any of the behind the scenes stuff, but it almost looks like they did like a practical like thing, but then with CG enhancements.
yeah, most likely. I mean, because it looked pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
but so basically, so after Din convinces everybody to kind of fight with him, they go to the planet, and it's like I'm thinking, okay, these pirates, there's probably like a big huge fleet like Thanos from like Endgame or something, and there's like literally like one ship and a couple of like fighters like flying around and everything, looking like it reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean. Like some of the characters look just very like
They leaned in very into the pirate aesthetic.
yeah. I'm not really a huge pirate fan, to be honest. Like I'm just like pirates is kind of. But anyway, it's like long story short, they like kick the pirates' asses like really easily, and it's just like no casualties from the Mandalorians at all. It's just like, oh yeah, this is easy.
You see a couple get knocked down, but you don't know if they actually died or anything.
Yeah, and then like basically it's just like, okay, we won. Pizza the Hut dies. And then go ahead.
Oh yeah, they get or Grief offers them some land.
Oh yeah,
so they can start rebuilding the Mandalorian culture.
Yeah, so they're kind of like hinting like, okay, they don't have to live in a cave anymore. They can kind of live out in the open, and so that was kind of I guess a good deal on their part or whatever. But then the part I really liked, which was kind of unexpected, was when the armorer calls Bo-Katan in for like a kind of a meeting or like it's a talk.
Right.
And they're talking, and she's like, oh, remove your helmet. And I was like, wait, is she gonna like make her remove her helmet and then be like, oh, you can't be a Mandalorian anymore?
yeah. It's like, is she setting her up for something?
But it was all about the fact that she was like, kind of knows both sides, knows like the
walks in both worlds.
Yeah, and so basically it was like that was cool because then like it's sort of setting up. At first I thought maybe all the Mandalorians were going to start taking their helmets off because Bo-Katan, but what makes her special is because she's sort of like been on both sides, like so that kind of makes her like unique and all that stuff. But then I'll let you mention the last part of the episode that was kind of like
that was
another surprising.
That was kind of cool. It definitely got some alien vibes off of that one.
Oh yeah,
I was expecting something to pop up, but that was still kind of cool. I'm kind of confused though, or not confused. I don't know if they're like really gonna. They come across the shuttle or the pilot, the X-wing fighter. He comes across a
derelict.
A damaged shuttle that turned out to be the shuttle that was transporting Moff Gideon.
Okay, yeah.
And when all they find is New Republic's soldiers that were dead and some Beskar scraps.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It definitely seems like they're setting up like Mandalorians to the ones who took him, but
definitely framed.
Yeah, definitely framed. So I don't know if they're actually going to think that's what happened, or if they're like, no, their Mandalorians are more careful than this to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought they were gonna like find like Luke's like lightsaber or something like that, or his like hand. You know? I don't know what was going through my head. I was like, it's kind of like they're leading up to something that's gonna like bring back something from the past, and I was like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Whatever.
But yeah, the way they set that up with put the probe in going in through there, I thought something was going to jump out there.
Yeah.
No jump scares.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. I kind of liked that. These are the parts I liked about the episode. It was like the little surprises, the action, the whole pirate angle. I was like, like just get this over with so we can kind of continue the story, the main story, you know. And I'm kind of like over like just having action sequences to sort of like, you know, make people. I don't know what they're thinking, but it's just some of the sequences look very Power Rangers-y.
It was like, still better than the beginning scene from the last episode.
Yeah, for sure, yeah, big improvement to that, and but yeah, overall I liked it. I mean, it was okay. It was just, but definitely liked it better than the last episode for sure.
What would you give it?
I'll give it a 6. Yeah,
I go 7.5. The Zeb being in it.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that.
Bumped it up. It left me on a high for a good part of the watching it.
But yeah, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think of this episode. We're also on Instagram if you happen to be on there. We post a lot of movie and TV related stuff, so be sure to follow us. As always, it was great talking with you guys, and we will catch you next time.
Peace.